All right, good morning, everybody. It's fight day, baby. Like, this is Christmas morning to boxing fans. And we have the morning of a big fight. Now we're just counting down the hours until we get this big fight between Errol Spence and Yordenis Ugas. And I'm joined here by the illustrious Corey Lee Boxing. Like I said, all the press conferences are done. All the Fight Camp 360s have been watched. The weigh-in is done. Let's get some last minute thoughts, Corey. Let's get some last minute thoughts from you. You saw the weigh-in yesterday. What did you like? What did you not like? And have you changed your mind about anything since this weigh-in, brother?
So I'm gonna tell you, man. I want to shout out to Beeves, man. Shout out to Beeves, man. Awesome channel, man. Awesome brother. But I'm gonna tell you, man. I did see a lot of that weigh-in, bro. I did see a lot of that weigh-in. Wow, man. You guys, in my personal opinion, when I seen you guys, man, he really looked like he was very determined and just very eager. Oh, Beeves with the gun show. With the gun show. I
Ugas looked S. Like
so
like
yeah, so I really think Beebs. I really think that you guys is one of those type of guys that he just looked to me. He looked 100% dialed in. He looked even bigger than Earl Spence did. Earl Spence looked on the smaller side. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the outside looking in. Like I said, me and Beeb are no experts, but we have been doing this for a while. So you know what I mean. Like I just saying, I've seen Earl Spence. I've even heard of Earl Spence being sometimes as a weight bully. I've heard of him being as a really big, 147-pound guy. So I just really think moving forward, you guys look dialed in. He looked heavier, and he just looked ready to go. He looked ready to go. He looked ready to go. And my personal opinion is when he gave Earl Spence that eye contact and they locked eyes, you guys did not let up first. He continued to stare down Earl Spence, and Earl Spence calmly looked forward, and then that's when the weigh-in was pretty much over. But I just think that you guys' determination could possibly will him through this fight. He has a whole country on his back. Um and I seen in the press conference, you guys said he has the whole country behind him, and Spence says he has the whole state of Texas behind him. Those are two totally different entities. But I just really think that the it's big, man. It's gonna be a big one, man. What you think, Beeves, man? It's gonna be a big one, buddy.
I'm glad you said that because you and I we work out. We go through our periods where we try to get lean, we try to bulk up. We've done it all, right? So when we look at physiques, right? And we always say just because you have a beach body, right? You could look good, but that doesn't always translate into performance. So the misconception out there is when someone sees somebody with a six pack, right? Automatically, wow, that guy looks ripped. He's ready to go. But being cut, lean, and in shape is different than being ripped. Being ripped is more of an aesthetic thing. It's to look good on a beach, look good for a honey dip. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Yeah.
that means. But I'm glad you said something because Eric and I, we talk after the weigh-ins, and I asked Eric, what'd you think, right? And he said, oh, both guys look great. I didn't want to go back and say, well, I thought Errol Spence looked small or he looked flat because I picked Ugas, so automatically
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
be accused of being biased, right? But
Yep.
I'm glad you said it because you picked Spence, but you saw that he looks small. And a lot of times when you see a guy who looks, we know when a guy looks flat, that means, he lost some muscle mass during the weight cut. Ugas looked full. We saw how his muscle bellies look nice and full. Spence looked flat to me. He looked small, right?
Yeah.
He talked about dealing with a nutritionist. I seen some of the footage. I think possibly he may have cut calories a little too low, number one,
Wow.
and he
Wow.
may have cut carbs a little bit too low because to me he looked flat.
He looked
He,
flat.
he looked flat. He looked small. His arms looked skinny. His face looked a little drawn.
You guys looked healthy, man.
Let's
He
be
looked dialed
honest.
in.
You're a huge Spence fan, right? I like Spence too. Don't get me
I mean,
wrong.
I'm not a huge Spence. I'm just a Spence fan. You know, I wouldn't say huge. I'm a huge
Okay,
music fan.
I
But
I
you know,
correct
because
myself.
I picked against Errol Spence twice.
Oh,
So
okay.
so
But
you know, I gotta
you're
keep
picking
call spade a spade.
Spence. You're picking Spence. But
Yep.
objectively, we can say that
By
Ugas.
knockout.
No, but that's fine. Objectively, we can say that Ugas did look better at this weigh-in. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, he
He
did.
looked fuller. He looked, and Ugas has come up from 140. And people like to talk about those fights at 140, those split decision losses. They like to talk about the Delorme fight. They like to talk about the Ramos fight. I thought he won 9 of those 12 rounds against, what was that, a 10-round fight or a 12-round
Yeah.
fight? I think, was that
I
a
think it
10-round
was
fight
10
against?
rounds.
Let me go back and check that, how many rounds that Ramos fight was. No, that was a 12. That was a 12-round fight. I had him winning 9 of those 12 rounds against Ramos. I didn't think it was a split decision, but a lot of people love to go back to that fight to try to criticize Ugas, and that's fair. Another fight people like to point to is the Thomas Delorme fight. Once again, I still thought he won the fight. Delorme is kind of a hugger, whatever. He went survival mode, but that it is what it is. If you don't think he looked great in those fights, I understand that, and I'll accept that. But we have to admit, man, look how he rose to the occasion in the Porter fight. Look how he rose to the occasion in the Manny Pacquiao fight. And to sit there and think that he's going to approach this Errol Spence fight the same way he approached that Thomas Delorme fight or that Abel Ramos fight, I just don't see it. And when I went back and watched Errol Spence versus Sean Porter yesterday, and I went back and watched Yordenis Ugas versus Sean Porter yesterday, and I just think that Ugas looked better against Porter. I thought that he won more convincingly. I thought that he dealt with Porter's foot speed and movement better because, as I said, he's more of an adaptive, reactive fighter. So he's able to react to what his opponent is doing. So if his opponent is coming in on an angle, he's right there to face him. He's right there to cut him off at the pass. Where I think Spence, once again, as talented as he is, I think he has problems with guys with fast feet. I think he has problems with guys who can move. And I thought that he had a harder time against Sean Porter's movement. And he had a harder time timing Porter's ambush attacks, the in and out movement, and coming in from angles that he likes to do. I just thought that he had a harder time dealing with Porter, right, than Ugas did, right? And I just thought he won more convincingly. And we also saw Ugas fight another guy like Manny Pacquiao, who likes to move a lot and come in on angles. And everyone wants to sit there and say, oh, well, that wasn't the Pacquiao that we know. And they're not giving Ugas any credit. I mean, Ugas took that fight on 10 days notice. 10 days notice. And people are just really dismissing Ugas here, man. They're really dismissing Ugas' skill set here.
Yeah.
So, I just think that Errol Spence, as I said before, has not approached these fights like the killer he once was or once portrayed to be in fights with, Kell Brook, Lamont Peterson. The last time I seen Errol Spence really looked like that killer, and I'm not going to count that Ocampo fight because that was just a
gimme.
That was a gimme, right? The last time I seen Errol Spence,
but ain't nothing. But I'm not trying to cut you off. But ain't nothing wrong with that sometimes. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that sometimes.
Ain't nothing wrong with that sometimes. But
he's
had a murderous row of fights, man.
Yes, and again,
seriously,
doesn't matter.
Only one fighter that's only gonna live one life.
Exactly. I mean, a win is a win. But when I look at the style, can we admit there's been a style change since that Lamont Peterson fight? We've seen a more less aggressive.
I'm gonna be honest. Beef. There's been a style change from that accident. I'm just keeping it all the way 100, man.
Even before that accident, though, there's been a style change.
No, but that accident, man, I feel like he didn't want to get his hit as much. That's why he was playing the defense. That's why he was playing more of the, I'm going to catch you with my reach. I'm going to put that jab out there from the southpaw stance. I'm going to go ahead and keep pumping that jab out there. And you see Danny Garcia's face was pretty busted up. Errol Spence, not so much. He had reconstructive surgery done on his mouth. That just doesn't heal overnight. He's got full dentures in his mouth. None of his teeth are real anymore. So you got to understand that does something to a fighter. When you get hit like that, Does it hurt more? There's a lot of things going on in Errol Spence's body right now that I don't even think he's figured out yet.
Excellent point. Well, what I'm trying to say is by him saying he had to lose 31 pounds to make weight for that Sean Porter fight, sometimes you become less aggressive and you pace yourself and you want to fight from the outside more because it takes less energy to fight the way he fought, by switching it up. It takes more energy to be that pursuer, to be that stalker type. So was he trying to preserve his energy in those fights and not be as aggressive and throw more jabs and less power punches because he was concerned that he may have faded down the stretch, right? That's something you have to look at, right? And in the Brook fight, when there was space, when Brook was able to operate from the outside, the fight was very difficult for Errol Spence. And the only way that he had to win that fight was, the only way and the reason why the fight turned, in my opinion, is when he cut the distance down and basically made it a phone booth type war and pushed Brook back. But Ugas, again, is a guy where Porter tried to be aggressive in spots, tried to push him back, but Ugas held his ground. Ugas is a strong guy. Again, he's going to have this guy in Spence that's going to try to box him from the outside, I believe. I think Spence is going to try and fight this fight in the center of the ring, and he's going to try and outbox Ugas, but I don't think that's going to be the strategy. So what I'm saying is the Spence that we've seen against Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia, that Spence, I don't think beats this Ugas that we've seen against Manny Pacquiao and Sean Porter. Because that's what I think is gonna. I think what we're gonna see tonight, and again, this is my opinion. I could definitely be wrong here. I mean, because again, this is just opinion here. We're betting on chance, right? Nobody has the crystal ball, but I'm anticipating that we're going to see that Errol Spence that showed up against Danny Garcia, who he said was 70% of himself. Now, after a year and a half layoff, right, having the retina surgery and not really being able to train consistently, there's been some downtime, right? There's been some limited things that he could do, right? I have a hard time believing that this was a great training camp coming off of a retinal surgery because, as you said, there's still a lot of unknowns. When you're entering sparring after just coming back from a torn retina, are you going to have that same mentality that you had before the surgery? And even he admitted that possibly the accident could have had some effect on that eye and may have started some of that damage, right? So coming off of a year and a half layoff, first time using a nutritionist, right? There's just a lot of things here that I just that are glaring to me that I can't overlook, man. It's a lot of things that I just can't overlook here. I have a hard time believing that this has been a great camp after a year and a half layoff. I just have a hard time believing that. I really do. I really do. And even you have said that you think that car accident, there's still going to be some residual effect from that car accident. And now we got the surgery on top of that. And I got to be honest, I just don't think he looked great at the weigh-in. I mean, people are going to say, oh, Beeb, you're just saying that because you picked Ugas and you're looking for confirmation bias. I'm absolutely not, bro. I'm absolutely not. I just don't think he looked great at the weigh-in. He looked like a guy who lost a lot of muscle mass to make the weight. I don't think he's 140 pounder anymore. He looked flat. His face looked drawn. His arms looked skinny. He had no shoulder, nothing.
They said he was hard to make the weight though. They said that the previous fight before this was one of his worst. The Danny Garcia fight was one of the worst camps that Errol Spence has ever had because he had to make the weight for one, and he was coming down from fucking north of 200. You see what I'm saying? So when you're coming down when you're boiling your fucking body down to 147, just like Keith Thurman has done before in numerous fights, because he's a weight bully as well. But how long can these 147-pound grown fucking men in their 30s make this weight? You know what I mean? At some point, you got to move up. I know, you know, they do it because of the money. I know they do it because, you know, they can make the weight. But at some point, enough is enough. We've seen where these weight cuts can go bad, a la Teofimo Lopez, you know, and that's just one weight class under these guys. So you got to understand, man, you know, weight cutting is a big thing. And I think that, you know, the whole, you know, the way that these guys look on the weigh-in says a lot. Now, will it pick the fight for us? Fuck no. It's just something to look at right now, that we can gauge where fighters are and how good where's their training camp. You see what I'm saying? How good was Yordenis Ugas' training camp? He said he was away from his family. He said, you know, he pretty much wasn't with his wife some of the time. So, you know, and you know, I just really think that plays in a factor in a way that they stare down. You got to take key notes from a weigh-in. I look at the weight. I look at these guys' posture, the way they come into the weigh-in. I look at, you know, how their camp is acting. Are they looking a little timid? Are they looking like they want to start something? I'm looking in the fighter's eyes when they do the stare down. How long is he going to look at the other fighter? You know what I mean? How long is this stare down going to go? What's up, Penny? I want to know, how long is this stare down going to go, you know? And a lot was told by me, I mean, from to me when they stared down. You guys looked straight in Errol Spence's eyes for, you know, for minutes. And Errol Spence turned his face first. You know what I'm saying? He turned his face first, and you guys continually looked at Errol Spence after he turned his face forward, as if to say, I'm ready to give you something that you have never fucking had before. So I'm just saying, man, what's going on, Penny, man? I was just doing my little.
Hey man, hey Corey, I noticed that too, bro.
Am I wrong, little Penny? Am I looking for confirmation bias here? Am I just, because I picked Ugas, am I going out of my way to find things wrong with Errol Spence? Or did Errol Spence look really small at that weigh-in? Did he look flat? Did he look skinny to you at that weigh-in? Compared to standing next to, I'll be honest with you, man. Standing next to Ugas looked like a friggin' middleweight, and Errol Spence looked like a junior welterweight to me. Maybe I'm being hyperbolic here. I just saw a bigger guy, man. I saw a bigger guy.
Hey, Beeb, I said that too with when I was with H Money, that because Ugas weighed in at 146.8, and I think Spence was at 146.2.
Correct.
But Spence, his face looked like, I wouldn't say like Brandon Rios type. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like
his face looked sunken into me. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember Brandon Rios. Yo, that dude look. Yo, that was one of the worst weight cutting. That's what you don't do at a weight cut. The way Brandon Rios did that shit. That shit is not healthy.
Corey Lee does this, man. This is his life, man. He trains, I train. We sometimes try to transform our bodies when we step on that scale or we take that shirt off. We don't like what we see. We make the adjustments. We do that. We know this. We know how to do this, man. This is 53 years old with the 17-inch pythons. I mean, we know how to do this, man. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing this for a long time. Right?
Dillian White did that too when he did the.
Now, he ain't worried about Dillian White, man. He ain't got nothing. But this is the thing, man. This is the thing. We know when someone is just trying to like lose weight.
I only did it because Beebs and Penny did it, y'all. I normally don't.
Beebs looked better though. Beebs looked better.
I said, damn, Penny done put his hands up. I said, what the hell, Corey? Go ahead and throw your hands up.
but again, man. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm hearing, oh yeah, I cut calories. I think he cut. It's one thing cutting calories to make a weight, but it's another thing cutting calories or balancing that calorie cut with the activity that you're doing in the camp. That's key. That's key.
And another thing, Beebs, when you're cutting that weight like that, you guys at home, okay, they're only gonna be at 146 to 147 for a couple of minutes, okay? This is not a thing where they're walking around at 147, which a lot of these guys are coming from 175. That's why I was throwing that out there. My mind is already working ahead of me already. So I'm just telling you, Like, you know, they cutting down to 147. They're only making that weight for a couple of minutes, and then they're shooting right back up to about, I would say, a comfortable weight for you guys to come in at tonight. I'm gonna say both fighters are gonna be at least 160. At least 160. That's 13 pounds of water weight that they're putting back in their bodies with fluids and you know, all types of nutritional stuff and, you know, meals. And I'm pretty sure the fighters in that 24 hours, well, I wouldn't be shocked if some of the fighters get about 5 meals in. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest.
But here's the thing,
You
too,
know?
Corey. We know sometimes when you cut down so much, then you try to throw it back in.
Yeah.
It makes you sluggish, man. It makes you sluggish. And I've talked to a lot of doctors, I talked to a lot of nutritionists, a lot of dietitians, and you know, if you're going to deplete your body, right, of all those nutrients, those electrolytes, all those minerals, it's going to take more than 36 hours to get it all back. And you have to acclimate yourself to getting it back. You can't just slam all that stuff back in your body and expect your body to assimilate all the nutrients and vitamins and stuff. It takes time. So once you take your body out of homeostasis, as Corey Lee said, they're making weight, right? They're making
you guys
weight
right there at the weigh-in.
They're making weight, and they're gonna weigh that weight for a snapshot in time. What happens after that weigh-in means a lot. Now, here's the thing too, right? Here's the thing too. So, you know, if you depleted your body of calories for a long period of time, right? If you depleted your body of calories for a long period of time, you cut the carbohydrates, you really took all the water out of your body, right? You took all water out of your body, right? And all of a sudden, your stomach has shrunk, whatever. Now you're trying to slam everything back in such a short period of time. That's going to shock your system. I'm looking at Ugas, man. His wife's cooking him nice salmon. He's eating rice. He's eating vegetables. Then I'm seeing friggin' Errol Spence's nutritionist ground turkey and green beans, man. Where's the balance in that, man? Where's the fat? Where's the fat? Where's the carbs? We need all.
Mind you, you guys' wife is. I mean, that's cooking his meals too. That's another motivation.
There's another thing,
come
man.
On now. You got these
that adds something to the food when you got your wife cooking it or your fiance cooking it, man.
The number one honey dip in you guys' life, cooking him some fucking, you know, some of the best cuisine you could possibly eat, man. So, you know, I just really think that plays a big factor into it. Both guys are looking, you know, fit and trim, and here we go, man.
Hey guys.
Be careful with the footage, Corey.
Here we go. Check it out. Hold on. Check it out.
Just be careful with the footage, though, because we don't want Showtime to come after us. Because I'm picking Ugas, so we don't want to get a copyright strike.
There's a rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year from Dallas Cowboys. What's his name again?
Look!
You saw it. You saw it.
Yeah.
All right, just be careful with the footage, Corey, man, because we don't want to get copyright.
He's gonna get a strike.
I don't want to get a strike, man. They don't like this channel, man. This channel's too honest for them.
Hey, Beebs.
BBC loves to fucking come after people like me, man.
So
hey, Beebs, did Spence say that this is the first camp that he had a nutritionist?
Correct.
What the hell?
I already been saying that.
Wow.
Bro, he looks so small.
He
Spence
small.
looked drained. Look at the headlines, y'all. Look at the headlines.
Yeah.
Look
how
flat,
small
bro.
he looks.
He looked flat, bro. You can't be losing 30 pounds every weight camp, bro.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
And again, he wasn't able to train coming off that retina surgery. He really wasn't able to do a lot for a long period of time, right?
Hey, Beebs, you remember Oscar De La Hoya said that when he was making 147 because he was about to go to 154, he said that there were times where the only food that he could eat was oranges. He just sucks orange for like 3-4 days because he couldn't. Because if he ate, he couldn't make 147. I bet you maybe Spence probably did that too.
Spence wasn't eating enough carbs for this camp, and I think his fat was a little bit too low. I could just see he was flat. His carbs, I think, I'm looking at the meals, man, from that nutritionist. Now, when you look at Tyson Fury's nutritionist, this guy's been tried and true. This guy, George Lockhart, he helps these UFC guys with all of their weight cuts, man. And he's a reputable guy. Look at the meals Tyson Fury's eating, man. He's eating well-balanced meals. He's getting a healthy amount of fat. And this guy's giving fucking Errol Spence ground turkey and fucking green beans, man.
Hey, listen,
ground turkey and green beans. Where's the fat? Where's the carbs? Ground turkey has like 1 gram of fat in it, bro.
The official weight, you guys, was Spence Jr. 146.25 and Ugas 146.75. So Ugas is almost right at that 146.
Hey Corey, I gotta love the fact that Stack is Steven Jackson, who used to play for Indiana Pacers. I love the fact that these guys are like covering boxing. In fact, Damian Lillard should be in here too.
Corey,
Like
black that out. Corey, black that out because I don't want these dudes to come after me for copyright, please.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying a lot of bad things that they don't want to hear. They're gonna come after me, man. They don't like the Beebs.
Okay, it's done.
Yeah, just black it out, man. Just get rid of it, man. Because there you go.
Get rid of
I'm sorry, I don't want to be an asshole, but I don't want these guys to come after me, man.
We said they might come after the Beebs, man.
Come after the Beebs.
Man. So with this being said, you guys, with Ugas and Spence fighting tonight, I think that a lot plays into this fight too, man. The emotions are going wild. This fight is a hometown fight for Errol Spence and his friends, his family. Everybody's gonna come out to see Errol Spence fight from that Texas area, and he has a lot. He has his foot around the neck of Texas. I mean, he's pretty much the golden child. And I just really think that this is a lot of pressure on Errol Spence too, you guys. Shit. You guys is like, shit, you're giving me a full camp and you're giving me a nice payday? Like, shit, sign me up. Sign me the fuck up. I've been getting short notice fights for my whole fucking career since I've been 15-3. They've been he said some of the fights, he had to be there one day, 2 days notice. He said he landed where he was fighting at 1 a.m. and had to fight that same day.
Now, Little Penny.
So
check this out, Little Penny. I'm
sorry. You guys have been through a lot, man.
Remember how high he was on Spence before this weigh-in? Now after the weigh-in, he's starting to talk more about Ugas, man. I think he's starting
that like button, y'all.
He's starting to second guess himself a little bit, in my opinion. What do you think, bro?
I'm still picking Ugas, man.
Yo, and check
this. But in my head, I'm thinking Ugas, but in my heart, I want Spence to win because I still want to see that Spence versus Bud Crawford fight at 147.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I don't know about Spence, man. There's too many unknowns. I don't know what his eye could be damaged, man. Who knows? Dude, he was blinking. Corey, did you notice that he was blinking a little bit, like funny in that?
One of his eyes looked like it was spacey. Yeah. Like he looked spacey in one of his eyes. Yes. Like he had that lazy look in one of his eyes.
Yeah,
Oh shit. I'm not trying to be an asshole, and I'm not trying to just grasp at straws. I'm not trying to look for confirmation.
What are you doing now, Beebs?
He didn't look right, man.
You're up to something. I know.
He didn't look right.
Up to something.
He didn't look right.
He starts that shit off where I'm not trying to. You're fucking definitely trying to.
I know I'm gonna be accused of it. But he don't. Even you said you don't think he looked right. You don't think he look right.
I mean, I don't mean to. I like Beebs the type of guy, man. I don't mean to fuck your wife, but I mean, she was just coming on to me, man, and shit just had to be. I didn't know she told me she was single. I mean,
you can leave me in the same room as your wife. I won't be doing that shit. Come on, man.
Hey, Beebs, Corey's trying to influence the betting lines, man. I bet you he's got something in the inside or something. I don't know.
He wants more people to bet on Ugas, man, so the odds will go down.
So what are the odds? So let's be. I'm good that y'all brought that up. For the fans out there that are gonna be rewatching this, man. Let the fans know, Beebs, what are the betting lines at right now? If somebody were to get in and put their real money down,
Oh, they're not close
put their
at all.
money down,
Oh, they're not? Oh.
what
They're not
is
close?
like how much would they get back? Let's just say if they put $200 on you guys, the guy that you're betting on.
I'll make it 100, Corey. Make it 100 so it's easier to compute.
Make it 100. Make it 100.
Spence is a minus 550 right now. Ugas is a plus 400. I mean, come on, man.
Damn.
Come on, man.
That's wide.
Damn.
That's
Come on,
wide.
man.
That's good value for Ugas.
Damn.
If you're not putting a little something on Ugas, and here's another thing, why not take the over? Why not take the over? This fight's going the distance.
Well, what does that mean?
So what's the over, Beebs?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Let's find out what the over is.
Yeah, Beebs, what does that mean?
It has to go over a certain amount of rounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The over under.
Yeah.
The over under is 11.5. Wow.
11.5?
Yep, I think so. Let me double check it. Let me see what the over under is.
11.5. So if you pick this fight to go the distance, then you'll get how much back if you put $100 down?
The over under total rounds completed is 11.5, with the over set at a minus 240, and the under is priced at a plus 200. So most people think this fight's gonna go over. Wow.
Go over the 11.5 rounds?
Yeah, most people think this fight's going the distance.
So let me ask you this: if you put $100 down that this fight just ends in unanimous,
no, you have to put 240 that the fight if you want it to go over, right? So you have to put 240 up to get 100 if it goes over 11.
Okay. So that's like the favorite bet right now. That's everybody's betting for this fight to go over right now.
Everybody's talking.
What if you bet this fight to go as a stoppage?
We have to look at the prop bets. You want to look at the prop bets? Let's look at the prop bets.
Let's look at the prop bets, you guys.
Spence Ugas. I apologize. I have to pull this stuff up. I would have been great.
Shout out to the Beebs, you guys. This is the Beebs Enterprises. I mean, he's got people working in his office right now. Right now, they're backed up. I mean, there's so many bets coming in right now from Beebs Enterprises. There's so many fucking bets, dude. He's got call honey dips all in his house right now. They're answering phone calls.
All right. Let me see if we can get these props.
Las Vegas honey dips. Ex-burlesque.
They're answering the phone calls, man. They're working overtime right now, man. Shit, betting lines opened up at 4 this morning.
Hey, shout out to Ex-burlesque at the Flamingo. I watched their show. That was really good.
Yeah, man, no doubt, man. So you got you guys winning, Penny?
Yes.
Why are you picking you guys?
A close decision. Because, dude, I don't know where Spence is at, man. But if Spence beats Ugas, right, which I do want to, then I will pick him against Bud Crawford. Because
that's what I'm saying. So you guys, let me say, you guys, so you and B both have you guys fighting Crawford. And initially, that's what y'all are saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what y'all are saying.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
I don't want that, though, Corey.
Y'all are saying that the one fight right before he gets this signature Crawford fight, a signature fight of his career, you're going to say he's going to come one fight short of getting that marquee fight that'll change Errol Spence's career forever. You know what I'm saying? You're feeling like this is the fight that'll change Errol Spence's career forever.
Well, Corey, he had it against Pacquiao, but he postponed or he couldn't fight him.
But let me ask you this, Penny. Are you picking against Errol Spence because of his accidents or because of the skill advantage that you guys has over Errol Spence?
I've got three reasons why I'm picking Ugas in this fight.
Here we go.
One is the accident, which when he fought Danny Garcia, it wasn't the old Spence. 2, his eye, as you well know, a lot of boxers have retired with detached retinas. And 3, he's finding it hard to make 147 now. In fact, I think in one of the All Access, I think it's on episode 1, he said that this fight will be his last fight at 147, which which
Wow.
I don't like, because I want that fight with Bud to be at 147. So that's why. But I do want him to win. I do want Spence to win because I want to see that
So
Spence
you so so
next
you
fight.
you're picking you guys, but you want to be wrong. You want to be
Yes,
wrong in this point. You want to
yes,
be wrong.
correct.
Is this one of the only fights that you want to be wrong in? I've never heard you say this before, Penny. Like
Uh,
you actually want to be wrong in this fight. Like you
well,
want to be wrong.
maybe one of the few Mayweather fights where he was going to win, but I would have been happy if, say, VO would win. I just wish he didn't do
I
that head
picked
fight.
I picked Teofimo Lopez to beat George Kambosos, but I wanted him to lose because I was just aggravated by the way he was acting. I thought he needed to lose for him to get back in line mentally, and
Wake up call.
yeah, he needed a wake up call. I didn't think he was going to lose, but I wanted him to lose. To be honest, I felt bad. I feel bad saying it because I don't like rooting against people because
But shit, but
makes you sound like a hater. But I just didn't like his behavior, man.
Yeah.
the way you picked, the way you talked about Teofimo Lopez beefs. I mean, the way you talk about him, I feel like you still think he has mental issues.
Oh, 100%, of course. Yeah, I don't think he's
For
right.
real?
Yeah, I don't think he's right.
What
I
sort
don't
of
think he's
mental
right.
issues?
Man. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man, for him at 142, man.
Okay,
Not gonna
so
get
here
in
we
the
got
interview.
Spence by KO is a plus 225.
Smash that like button, y'all.
Spence by decision is a minus 150. Yordenis Ugas by decision or technical decision is a plus 600. Yordenis Ugas by TKO is a plus 1200. So, I mean, to me, I think the bet here is if you really like Errol Spence,
Uh-huh.
if you really think he's going to win, betting him at
Yeah.
a minus 150 to win by decision is the best bet, in my opinion. I don't think a
Okay.
knockout. I don't think a knockout's going to happen in this fight. Again, that's just my opinion. But
Okay.
if you like Ugas, just bet him. Get the plus 400. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
so Beebs, if I bet 100 on Spence, I get 150 back. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
you have to put up 150 to get 100 back. In other words, so when you're in the minus, so if it's a minus 400, you got to put up 400 to get a 100 back, plus your 400. See what I'm saying? So whenever it's a minus, right, you have to put up the higher amount to get the lower amount. When it's the plus, you put up the lower amount to get the higher amount.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't
So
bet, man.
if you bet Yordenis Ugas by decision, you only have to put up 100 to get your 600 to get the 600 plus your 100
Oh,
back.
hey,
So
Beebs, he's started the team Batman Boxing, man. There's another fight going on across overseas right now. And he
Yeah.
says the easiest money this weekend is tonight. Conor Ben to stop Van Herden 2-5. What do you think about that, B?
I agree with it. I
If
agree
you're a
with it.
betting man, all of the fights this weekend, you know what I'm saying? I didn't look at I didn't look at that Brandon Lee fight. That Brandon Lee fight is actually supposed to kick off the fights for the night. I
It's
would
on
love to know
YouTube.
I would love to know your opinion, Beads, on some of the other fights this weekend, like that you could possibly, you know what I'm saying, put a little bit of money on, like you do sometimes. You do put money on the undercards from time to time. I've heard you talk
Sometimes
about
not.
that.
I once in a while, if I do, but I like that Ben by stoppage pick. I think that's a
Okay.
good one.
Why do you like that? Why do you like that? Why do you think that's going to happen?
Well, I think Ben's a hard puncher. He's very aggressive. I think he's a crafty guy. I think he's quick, explosive. I think he knows how to cut off the ring. I think he's a very dynamic fighter. I think he's a
He
very
gets hit a
dynamic
lot,
fighter.
though, Beebs.
Say again.
He gets hit a lot, though. Flush sometimes.
He said,
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think he gets hit a lot. I mean, every
He got
fighter
hit a lot
gets
against
hit.
Algeria, but Algeria didn't have any punching power, so it didn't bother him.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's got a poor defense. I think he keeps his hands high, moves his head very well.
Man.
I don't think he just walks in with his chin in the air. I think he's pretty decent.
Hey, Corey, where can we buy the merch, bro? I like that shirt, man.
So look, that's a fun question. I'm so glad you asked that question, man. The merch will be coming. I got Beebs and Penny, man. I'm gonna definitely give y'all a shirt. But the merch will be coming. I just ordered the shirts from DC Mike TV. Shout out to DC Mike TV. I just ordered the shirts 2 days ago, you guys. So I got 30 Corey Lee boxing shirts in all sizes coming out. And I've been having family members ask me about it. I've been having other people ask me about it, man. So yeah, man. So I got the merch coming out, and I think me and DC Mike, we finally finished my boxing logo. So we got that in stores for you guys as well. A lot going down in Corey Lee boxing, man. I just really want to get to these interviews, man. COVID is pretty much wrapping up, and everything's coming back to normal. And outside of the boxing world, and I see that, and that's another reason why this fight is so big. People are actually coming to the fights again. People are actually, can be entertained physically. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's huge for the United States. I know other countries and other places haven't been as lenient as the United States of America. They're saying for the basketball playoffs, if you do not have your shot, you will not enter the Canada borderline.
Yes.
So if there's numerous players that have to play the Toronto Raptors that will not be playing. Boxing is different. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is different. From what I'm hearing, there's no fucking mandates on anything that boxers have to do, you know what I'm saying, about getting the shots. You know what I'm saying? It's just pretty much like if you don't got the shot, that's what you believe in. They'll say I have the shot, and pretty much they'll get the fight on. I haven't heard of any type of vaccinations or anything like that stopping a fighter from getting a big fight. Have you guys?
No, have not.
And I just really think that this is big for the sport of boxing. This fight, and I just really think that it'll help with the ticket sales as well, man. Because Texas I believe they were one of the first states to lift the mandates up, and it's a big state.
Hey Corey, what do you think the crowd attendance will be at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium? I say 55,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say right around about 49 to about 50,000. I'm thinking that Spence can definitely do that. I heard with the the Carlos Ocampos fight, the one that Beeves doesn't want to recognize, which I understand why. But he did have I want to say between 20 and 30,000 fans at that fight, which is pretty good for pretty much a no-name opponent in Carlos Ocampos, which was undefeated going into that fight. But let's be honest, you guys, he fought pretty much 90% of those fights in Mexico City, baby. So so it's like one of those things, you can't count those too much. He did get his fights in, but me and Beeves knew that was a gimme fight. It served its purpose. He got the asses in the seats, and I think that those type of fights, Beebs, that's why I said there was nothing wrong with that Carlos Ocampos fight and Penny, because those type of fights help build a fighter's career. So when he has a big fight, when he's ready for a big fight, like tonight, the fans will come and support him because they know about him. This is his third time fighting at Dallas Cowboys Arena. So it's just like one of those things, man. I really think that this fight right here could catapult Errol Spence to that next level, to that global superstar status. I know he wishes it was Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, but he did not get that fight because Ugas was 100% the better man. And I just really think moving forward, that's why a lot of people are picking Ugas to win. They don't think that Manny Pacquiao versus Ugas was a fluke. A lot of people put a lot of weight on Manny Pacquiao being 43 years of age, and that is the reason why Ugas beat him. A lot of people put emphasis on that. I'm not one of them, but I've seen where people has put that, in their mouth and, has put that on their channel, when he was 43, but at the end of the day, was he 42? Was he 41 when he fought Keith Thurman and put his young ass on his ass? You know what I mean? That was the single-handedly most money that I have lost in a fight in my entire life. Okay, that Pacquiao versus Thurman fight. Okay, I lost well over $500 on that fight. You know what I'm saying? I thought Keith Thurman was going to get it done. Okay, he did not get it done. Okay, Manny Pacquiao reversed the hands of time and beat Keith Thurman. Okay, so a lot of people thought he was gonna do that in the you guys fight, but what the fuck you think is a 43-year-old fighter gonna do with 2-year layoff? What do you think is
Let's
gonna happen?
let's talk about the judges here because that's a big question mark
Yeah, because I
here.
gotta head out. I'm going to Cars and Coffee this morning, man. I got a Mitsubishi Evolution X, so I'm going to Cars and Coffee this morning, man. I do got another hobby. It's called cars, so I'm definitely going in the next about 10 minutes, Beep. So definitely let the judges know what's up. Let the people know because we talked about this backstage.
Okay, so here's the three judges. We got Javier Alexander from Texas, who's a guy that does not have much judging experience at all. He started judging in 2011, and this is by far and away the biggest fight that he's ever been assigned to. And I don't not crazy about him as a judge. Robert Hoyle is from Nevada. Definitely, good. Yeah, he's good. Tough, tons of experience. Really, no controversy surrounding him. Jose Roberto Torres is a Puerto Rican judge. He's been around since 1993. He's primarily judged, mid-level type fights. He's been involved in some championship fights. The Callum Smith John Ryder fight was the last fight of note that I can look to that he's judged, and he had it for Callum Smith. I believe 116 and 112. All three judges had it for Smith. I actually thought Ryder won the fight. I don't know if I want to call that a horrible scorecard. I mean, the other two judges had it for Callum Smith as well. So it doesn't look like there was controversy in that fight. I just scored that fight for John Ryder like a lot of other people did, but he doesn't really have any blemishes on his record. He doesn't have any bad scorecards that stand out. But the one judge that I think is questionable here is this Javier Alvarez judge in Texas. Now, Robert Hoyle, I think, will do a good job. Jose Torres, Puerto Rican judge. Puerto Rican judges tend to go with the boxers, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't want to stereotype, but when you look at the Puerto Rico, look at guys, guys that came out of there, they're more of a boxer orientated. They like the technical aspects more so than the aggressive slugger type thing. So I think he'll score the fight correctly. But the one issue here, the one caveat is this Javier Alvarez from Texas, who's never really judged a big fight like this, does not have a ton of experience. When you look at this other fight on the card, I think it's the Josecito Lopez fight. We got Tim Cheatham from Nevada, Glenn Feldman from Connecticut, Steve Weisfeld from New Jersey. To me, that seems like a better lineup of judges. That why weren't these judges assigned to this fight? That's the question I have.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I agree with that.
So
those
this,
three, I know those three judges.
Yeah. So this I don't know this Javier Alvarez judge, and I'm not so sure this was a good assignment for him. So we'll be keeping an eye on his scorecard tonight. But I think the other two guys will turn in good scorecards.
I think we should do a poll in the comments real quick. I think we should say, do the three judges, will they matter? Will they matter in this fight?
Yeah.
I want to know what the fans think.
Let's put a poll. Let's put a poll, and the question will be, will the judges score the fight fairly?
I don't think Ugas can KO Spence. Spence might KO Ugas, but I don't think Ugas has got the power to KO Spence.
KO Ugas. Okay, so you don't think there's no way possible for Ugas to win by stoppage,
unless his eye
shock the world. Which would probably
unless his eye is really bad, he has to retire.
This dude Beebs would fucking speed dial the shit out of me, dude. If he won by knockout, if there was an ice season in this fight, and Ugas was just the one that was doing the damage, and it was like a brutal knockout, If Ugas were to get that stoppage tonight, I think he would put the welterweight division on fucking notice, dude.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
time. Big time.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm
You're
just
already
being
saying that the weight,
I'm being 100% honest. I just have a feeling Spence is gonna be real flat tonight, and I think Ugas is gonna be more aggressive than normal here. He definitely fights in spurts, and I think we're gonna see Ugas in points in this fight really take it to Spence like he did with Porter. Like he was very aggressive against Porter in spots, but then again he kind of moved a little bit. I really thought he imposed his will on Porter a little bit, and I think Porter was really surprised by his strength. Ugas is a strong guy, and I just don't like how Spence just looks so flat at that weigh-in to me. That's how he looks small. And now all of a sudden, once you start listening to the critics, now all of a sudden, the week of the fight, now he's saying that he's going to go for the knockout. But when he was asked right when this fight was announced, and right when the interviews were happening and the buildup was taking place, early on he was like, "Oh, I don't know, I haven't scored a knockout in a while. Whatever happens." Now he's sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm going to go for the knockout." So is he going to try and go out of his way to prove to everybody that the old Spence is back and the old Spence never left and there's no issues with me? So is he going to go out of his way to try to force the knockout, and in doing so, will that play into Ugas's hands? Will he try to revert back to that Kell Brook Errol Spence? And if he does, will he have enough energy in the tank to be able to carry out that game plan from rounds 1 through 12? And will the counter puncher have more opportunities to counter that aggressive Spence? And once again, when you go looking for a knockout, that's when you start becoming defensively irresponsible. So if it's letting the public get to him, the public, by them questioning whether or not this is the real Errol Spence or not, if that's going to have an impact on how he fights tonight, that could be problematic. You got to go, Corey?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to, before I head out, I wanted to do my little breakdown on the fight. I know you and Penny will probably go on. I'll listen on my way up to Cars and Coffee today. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. The reason why we heard Penny, his 3 reasons why he was picking, you guys to win. I'm going to pretty much, give my reasons on why I think Spence will win this fight. Obviously we did see the weigh-in yesterday, and the weigh-in was a little iffy. I think the weigh-in results and all of that, and the way I looked at everything, I think that definitely went towards you guys. I think that helped him out. The weigh-in did, with people betting and just people looking at you guys as possibly a candidate to possibly upset the king or one of the kings at 147, which is Errol Spence Jr. The reason why I'm picking Errol Spence Jr. though, you guys, is because number one, and these are not in any order. These are just, my reasonings on why after I break the fight down, and I dissect it piece by piece. I really truly think that, Errol Spence, his ring generalship, I think that's very underrated. I think he has very, very good ring generalship. He knows how to cut the ring off on fighters a lot more, heavier than him, a lot more mobile than him. And I've seen him break athletic fighters down in Bundu, and I've seen him, break other fighters down like, Chris Algieri as well, and a physically fit fighter, which I thought was going to win this fight against Errol Spence and Kell Brook. He broke him down, and that was a real eye opener for me, because I thought Kell Brook was an elite welterweight at the time, and that showed me that Errol Spence was at that top level, and he needed to stay there. You know what I'm saying? So moving forward, the only doubts that I have about this fight is the car accident. What effect and the eye injury. We cannot look over that eye injury because that's not. It's like the car accident makes you want to look over the eye injury, but it's like, dude, these are 2 devastating injuries, in his in his career. And this shit was so crazy. It was outside of the square circle. Yeah, he was sparring and stuff like that, I believe. But none of this stuff happened in the actual fight when he was fighting someone, on a televised, one of his professional fights. So both of these injuries happened when he wasn't fighting. You know what I mean? And I think that has something to do with stuff as well, But the eye injury, I don't think he could have dodged it. I think it was just probably rough sparring. I heard that, he goes all out in these sparring sessions. I mean, shit, you heard what Floyd Mayweather said. Get the fuck out of my gym, you bitch. After Errol Spence laid the boom down on Floyd Mayweather Jr. But, I think Errol Spence is going to win this fight in 11th round stoppage, you guys. I'm picking the 11th round for Errol Spence to beat Yordenis Ugas, okay? He's had a very, very good run. I'm not taking anything away from Ugas. He's a very, very good talent. I think he's a very amazing fighter, and I think he believes in a lot. I think he has a good family, and I think he's just a good fighter, a good person. I think Ugas is a really good person, So like Penny says, I want, Errol Spence to win. Well, I want you guys to do good. But I guess that's when me and Penny disagree, because I don't want you guys to win at all. I want to see this Spence versus Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford fight. This is not the reason why I'm picking this fight, but it definitely has a categoric effect on the outcome. There is over $50 million, I feel, just in the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight alone. So Errol Spence, if he loses this fight, he's leaving $50 million on the table, man. This is a lot riding on this fight. I don't think either one of you guys understand the magnitude of this fight. You know what I'm saying? Because both, it's just so much, Is Terrence Crawford going to sign with PBC? A lot's riding on this one fight, Is Terrence Crawford waiting to see if he re-signs to see the outcome of this fight, which could very well be true, And I just really think that you guys should look more into, just the effects that this one fight is going to have on boxing. Does Errol Spence lose this fight and say, fuck it, I'm moving up to 154. Find me up there. Ain't no rematches. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that can happen in this fight, man. And I just want you guys to know that. You guys at home, too. Big time boxing networks have a lot riding on this golden boy. And his name is Errol Spence Jr. The Cowboys has fully invested in him. PBC fully invested in him. There's a lot riding on this fight tonight, you guys. That's why I really wanted to do this live stream today. I'm the one that called Beebs to do a live stream. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? But that's my brother, man. I love his show. He's got one of the best live streams. We knew he was going to have more fans than me. So we said we got to do it on his, man. So it's just the best thing. He was probably ready to do it anyways. I just knew. I read his mind. And I just think, great minds think alike. But in this one instance, they don't think alike. Okay? So with that being said, man, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much, man. Penny, you're awesome. You and Beebs are completely fucking wrong, though. And you guys will eat your fucking crow soon enough tomorrow. Both of you guys, okay?
Yeah, after the fight.
Okay, Beebs?
Hey, whoever wins this fight gets full credit.
Matter.
Whoever wins this fight gets full credit. There's going to be no excuses tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit there and say Spence lost because of this. We're not going to sit there and say Ugas lost because of that. Unless we get a 120 to 109 scorecard when the fight was
don't start that shit, bro.
We gotta be. I mean, I hate to be that gray cloud, man, but I don't like that Texas judge.
Please, though, you know this boxing sport we love, man. Do not let me. Please don't let the Ringside Reporter show Sunday be talking about the judges the whole time. I don't really hope the show isn't like that.
I don't want it to be, man, but hopefully this fight is going to be scored on the up and up. But we have to expect that it is, man. We have to expect that it is. But I don't.
So yeah, man.
I don't. That's Texas judge, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
my
Corey.
Call.
All right,
that's
Corey.
my call, man. I'm gonna head out, man. Thank you guys so much, man. You guys can follow me at Corey Lee Boxing on Instagram and YouTube. And yeah, man. Thank you guys so much, man. You guys have an awesome show, man. Peace out,
man. All right, man. So Lil Penny, Corey brought up something that's very interesting to me. He said if Spence loses, he thinks he'll go right up to 154. That bears the question: is there a rematch clause in this fight? Let me see if we can
Yeah,
find
there
out some
probably is.
information.
There
I wouldn't
probably
be
is.
surprised if there was. Is there a rematch?
But sometimes, Beebs, there's a contract also that Ugas he can't say stuff like that because like he can't
Ugas.
disclose those sort of terms in
Yeah,
the contract.
that could be possible too.
Oh, he'll definitely have a rematch clause in there, but maybe at a higher weight class. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Ugas would want to try to fight. Is there?
Hey, Beebs, if this fight was at 154, I would pick Spence, but this fight is not at 154; it's at 147. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm picking Ugas.
that would be better. That would be better for Spence if it was at 150. Is there a rematch clause for Spence? Ugas. Yordenis Ugas reveals. Let me see. See if I can find that. I see one video here on it, but I don't see any. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure if there is a rematch clause for this, but it hasn't really been publicized whether or not there is. So, what do you think about this Fury White thing? I guess White finally showed up to a virtual conference call.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, he was saying that there was something in the contract that he didn't like, and that's why he didn't show up. I don't know, man. It seems like an excuse to me. I do know he was upset that he didn't get any upside on a pay-per-view, but I think
Well,
getting 8 million plus, man, you should turn up to the press conference, man. I just think that maybe he was scared of with Fury's head games, and he didn't want that going into training camp in Portugal. So I don't know, man. I'm picking Fury to actually knock him out. I think he's going to give him a
I'm picking Fury by knockout too. That's the bet I would recommend. Why not just bet? Why not just bet Fury with the stoppage proposition? That's the best odds, I think.
yeah. And
Best
Vips,
bang for your buck.
it's the highest crowd ever in English boxing history,
Yeah,
94,000.
yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
look at the reply to this poll. Will the judges score the fight fairly? And
No.
85% are saying no.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because that Texas judge, Javier, who was it again? Javier, someone.
Yeah,
Those.
yeah, that's going to be a problem. That Texas judge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, Las Vegas judges tend to favor the aggressive fighter. That's why Manny Pacquiao kept on beating Marquez, even though Marquez always had with the exception to the knockdowns, Marquez really had the more definitive punches. But
cleaner
Pacquiao
punches.
kept on, yeah, but Pacquiao kept on outpointing him because Pacquiao just throws so many punches. Like one of those is gonna land, and even in the third fight where everyone thought Marquez won, Pacquiao actually out punched him on the CompuBox numbers by like, I don't know, but like 25 punches or something.
The thing about Pacquiao too is the way he just throws those flurries. They're so quick, and sometimes a judge can't really determine whether or not all those shots are landing or not, and they're just giving him points for aggression. The difference with Spence is he throws a lot of single shots. I mean,
Yeah.
the only time he throws
But they're
combinations,
thudding though, Beeps. They're thudding.
correct. I'm not saying they're not effective, but he throws a lot of single shots, particularly from the outside.
Yeah.
And he doesn't stop putting the combinations together till he gets close to you, you know?
Mhm.
Whereas, he has to get like deep in the pocket to throw combinations. Even in the mid range, he still throws one punch at a time,
Hey,
but
Beeps.
he throws a shitload of jabs.
Beeps, yeah, well, you know what? Ugas likes his opponents to throw jabs because he goes over it. When you throw a jab and he goes over it really quick. I
What
like
he's
that. He
what,
did that with
what he's
Pacquiao all the
doing,
time.
what he's going to be doing tonight, because again, Another thing people haven't really talked too much about. They've said a little bit about it is when you're a Cuban fighter, most Cuban boxers are southpaws. So he spent a great portion of his career fighting in Cuba, fighting against southpaws, and he's had his most impressive wins against southpaws. When you look at like he had Ray Robinson, Manny Pacquiao, he's used to that right jab coming at him. He's used to catching that right jab, knocking it down, and coming, like you said, coming over the top with his own jab. And in the Pacquiao fight, he was catching the right jab, and he was turning Pacquiao, and he was and as he caught, he would turn and then loop the right hand over the top. And I think that looping right hand is going to be a great weapon for Ugas tonight against Errol Spence, right?
It's gonna
And
hit
which
in the eye.
which eye was the one that was damaged?
Yeah, I don't know. But BC, I like Ugas because he's not like the typical Cuban fighter. He's more like that mold of like a Gamboa, where he knows he defensively, he's defensively minded, but he can also his offense is also good. Like he's not like Rigo or Lara. Those sort of fighters. I hate those kind of fighters.
Okay, so here's the thing. Errol Spence, the left eye was the eye that was damaged, right?
Yep.
It was the left eye. So that's the eye. That's the eye that's going to be susceptible to the right hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the eye that he's going to have to keep an eye out for, is that left eye, and that's the eye that's going to be getting hit with the harder shots, you would assume, because Ugas is going to be really trying to land that right hand. Because what do Orthodox fighters do against southpaws? They try to land that right hand.
Yeah.
So let's see if that right eye holds up. Let's see if there's going to be any puffing around that right eye. I'm just curious to see, man. I mean, obviously the retina is internal; it's not external. So, but yeah, this is going to be a great fight, man. It's going to be a very interesting, intriguing fight tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. And Corey asked the question: do you see Ugas stopping Spence?
No. No.
Unless
he retires because of his eye.
I would say no. But what I'm saying, what I will say is this: if the eye closes and he can't see out of it, I could see a stoppage because of that. Now, yes. do I see him getting knocked out with a one-punch knockout? Do I see him, getting knocked out because of Ugas hurting him and him not being able to continue because of that? No, but I would not be surprised. I just have a feeling Ugas is going to find a home for that overhand right tonight. Mm-hmm. And I would not be surprised if that left eye closes tonight. Do I think it's impossible for him to get a stoppage victory? No.
Yeah.
I don't. Mm-hmm. Because he's such an accurate puncher. If you go back and look at that Porter fight, Porter's face was all smashed up. I thought he won that fight clearly. If you go back and look at Porter's face at the end of that fight, his face was all smashed up. It's all swollen and shit. I mean, that's not a way to score a fight by facial damage, but it does show you that a guy has heavy hands if he can bust up a guy's face. And it was all over his face, like his eye was puffed up, it was cut. He had fucking blotches on his forehead. Even though this guy Ugas only has 12 knockouts, he still looks to be heavy-handed to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's I don't think he's a soft puncher. I don't think he's.
Well, Kambosos doesn't have a lot of knockouts either, and he knocked down Tio.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens, man. But that's all I got right now, Penny. I'm gonna be going live tonight. I'm gonna be doing a live cast for the fight tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I like watching it with everybody and scoring the fight live and seeing what everyone's opinion is.
I'll come on after the fight when you and Corey do the analysis.
Yeah. I'll drop a link in and we can talk about what we saw and stuff. It'll be fun, man. It'll be fun.
Like what you did with the other fight last week or the week before. I can't remember.
I think it was the week before. Yeah, we had a dialogue about what happened. I think it was the Golovkin fight. We did it.
Golovkin.
We had a discussion about the Golovkin fight. But man, I'll catch up to you tonight, man, and enjoy the rest of your day, man. And thank you everyone for joining us in the chat, man. Make sure you jump on tonight for the live cast, and make sure you check out the Ringside Reporter tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time with myself and Eric Lauder. Everyone have a great day, man. It's going to be a great fight tonight. Looking forward to it, man.